Okay, hello everybody. This is Michael Wilson Barber again, and it was inevitable that I was going to film a Weber grilling segment. This is the Weber grill that I currently have. I've had this one, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, but it's a standard grill, 3-legged with the ash bucket in the bottom. I do have the copper. I like the copper. Much better than black, of course. Green would be a good option, or maybe red. I don't know what colors they make it in. But I had 2 pounds of ground beef, and my wife bought another pound of ground beef. So it's burgers today. And I'll show you how I do it. I like to do indirect heat, as the barbecue pit boys do a lot. And they're not the creators of this method, but they're the ones that showed me how to do it. And let's see here. So someone left the grill dirty from the last use. So first step is to clean up the grill and get the ashes out of there and kind of wipe it down. I like to rotate the grill. If I use the grill on one left side, one grilling, I move it and rotate it around. That way, well, it just kind of makes it even. So you put the charcoal briquettes on one side and then put the food on the other side, and it doesn't burn. It just takes longer, and it cooks kind of like a convention oven. It as the heat rotates through the system. So anyway, it's called indirect heat grilling, I believe. Okay, bye. Enjoy. See you in the next clip. Okay, so for these cheeseburgers today, I'm going to make a sauce that I like to make sometimes. That it kind of imitates McDonald's Big Mac sauce, and you can do your own recipe, whatever you want. There's plenty of recipes on the internet. So I dice the pickles. I took some mayonnaise and about 3 spoons of the pickle juice. I like to use Vlasic kosher dill gherkins. I also use these for deviled eggs and you know, other type of pickle things. I'll put a little bit of salt and pepper in this. I'll put a little paprika in it. In this case, I'm going to add some Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning and a very small amount of garlic powder. You could put onion powder in too if you want. But anyway, it's a mayo base, ketchup, the pickle juice. I'll put a very small amount of mustard as well. So anyway. Okay, here's what it looks like before being mixed. And you can see again, small amounts of ketchup and mustard. Well, let's see how it turns out. I try to make it sort of look like a Thousand Island dressing, which is kind of what it is. Okay, bye. Okay, so it wasn't orange enough in the amounts that I had, so I've added a little more ketchup and paprika. And anyway, it'll be fine. That's fine. But you can see it's kind of looks like it sort of has that look of Big Mac sauce, Thousand Island dressing sauce. Okay. Anyway, I don't do this on every burger. It's just something I like to make sometimes. And it's good with lettuce, of course, too, just like Big Macs. And it's good with onions as well. Okay. Okay, so I kind of cleaned out the grill and got most of the ashes out. I'm only going to use a sort of a small to medium size of charcoal briquettes, because I'm just making burgers, nothing else, no vegetables or any side dishes or anything. You can see it burning well. I'll show you what I'm using. You can't really see it in there. You can kind of a little bit. I'm using what's called a tumbleweed, and I used to use, of course, the chimney method is good, but these tumbleweeds work great. So you just have to light it, pack the charcoal around it, and it really lights well. And I threw my chimney away, my lighting chimney, because it was getting rusty anyway. And it's just kind of a pain. This is real easy to use. Also, I only use Kingsford original charcoal. It has to say the original. I don't use any of the flavored or any other ones. But that's just me. And I never use lighting fluid. That's just gross. Or lighter fluid. Anyway, I'll put it on. I've rotated the grates. I'm going to rotate the grates. So the heat will be on the right side and the burgers will be on the left side. Okay? While it's not necessary, I like to use a drip pan. And you can buy these pretty cheap at the store. I didn't happen to have one. So I just made one out of heavy duty aluminum foil. It's not hard to do. And while it won't catch all the grease, it'll end up catching most of the grease. Sometimes I even put water in the drip pan, depending on what I'm cooking. So it has kind of the added effect of adding moisture or maybe a little bit of steam to the whole situation. But you especially want to use a drip pan if you're cooking bacon or something like that. But with burgers at 80-20, they give off a lot of drips and grease. So I'll try to catch most of it. But it's not necessary. But it's what I like to do. Okay, bye. You can see the briquettes are coming along. I'm going to cover this up pretty soon and just let it continue to heat. Okay, and I'll leave it open air so the air can go through. Okay. Okay, so this is sort of typically the size I make my patties when I'm grilling. They're going to shrink a lot. I do not make them thick. Try to keep them sort of medium to thin. I don't know what this is. It's probably about 1/3 of a pound burger. And I got more patties to go. I like to use a little garlic powder. Of course, salt and pepper. I'll put it on both sides of the burgers. And as the barbecue pit boys call it, it's SPG. Salt, pepper, and garlic. So it's kind of a good combo for burgers. You can use other, beef or burger spices, whatever you want. But usually I try to keep it simple. Let the meat speak for itself. Okay, bye. Okay, so you can see this indirect heat method. There's 3 that have been on there for a few minutes covered. And I just put 3 more on. So I'm going to go ahead and put the salt and pepper and garlic powder on the top of these. They flipped over, so the salt and pepper and garlic's on the bottom. Now I'm going to do the top. And then just cover and let it do its thing. I don't know how much time. I don't really time it. You just flip it halfway and do the other side. Just cook them till they're done. Don't overcook them, okay? Bye. Okay, so in this case, I have full vent open at the top and mostly in the bottom. And you can see it's about 400 degrees in there. And it's been about, like I said, I don't really time it. It's been about 15 or 20 minutes. So you can see they're getting sort of that brown crust on the edge, especially the 3 that were in there before. But I'm going to go ahead and flip them and put cheese on them in a little bit. Really, this has only been about 15 or 20 minutes, but they'll need to go on the other side another 10, 15, 20 minutes. Again, I do not time food like this. I just cook it until it's done, or until I like it the way it is. Okay?
Yummy.
Bye. Okay, so by the way, using a metal spatula I use for grilling, you can see I've flipped them. Sometimes I move them, like if there's one that needs to be moved up here, I'll move it, or one that needs to be moved back, I'll do that. In this case, I didn't need to move many. Anyway, you can see it leaves some grill marks. And yeah, these are about halfway cooked. You can still see they're a little bit pink in the middle. So we'll do another 10 or 15 minutes. Probably put some cheese on here. Okay, but you have to cover it. This is a low and slow method. There's the briquettes right there. There's the meat on this side. I usually like to have some vegetables like peppers or onions, zucchini. I like portobello mushroom with olive oil, salt and pepper. But today it's just strictly the burgers, okay? And I have onions separate for our, we're gonna use brioche buns, by the way. Okay, it's really hot now. It's closer, it's about 450. Got the air vents over here on the side where the burgers are. And you can see that the burgers look done. You can see the edges are all sort of brown and red from the smoke. And there's even some brown and red on the top. So at this point I'm going to go ahead and put cheese on and do it another however long, 5 minutes or so, let the cheese kind of melt. And then I'm going to put the brioche buns in wrapped in heavy aluminum foil, let them heat up too. Okay, and the same thing works for hot dog buns too. Okay. Okay, I just took the cheeseburgers off, and total time's about 45 minutes. I don't know. I didn't time it. They smell great. I'm going to put the brioche buns on in this heavy-duty foil. You can see that the coals are still going, but I don't have much else to cook. And the drip pan was very helpful. I did catch a lot of grease. Again, there's other grease I didn't catch. I like to catch as much as I can, though. It makes for easier cleanup. Keeps the overall grill as clean as possible. And since you're doing offsetting heat anyway, might as well do it. I mean, the coals are going to be here. The food's going to be here. So use a drip pan, man. And then it's easy to throw away. So anyway, got the brioche buns and some potato rolls in here, wrapped in heavy duty foil. I'm going to go ahead and keep those going. And I'm going to open it up, let the coals kind of do their thing. There's no reason to keep it cooler and slow now because I don't have anything else to put on here. Okay, taking the burgers in.
That's weird.
Okay, so here's the cheeseburger on the brioche bun with the sauce and onions. It would be good with lettuce and tomato. I don't have any. That's fine. But it's about 1/3 of a pounder, maybe 1/4. And you can see the smoke on the edges of the cheeseburger. Okay, it's delicious. God bless. Bye.